Oh, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Cat Crew Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing well. And let's get the hellos out of the way. Looks like we got a good crew in here tonight. Jim Tedesco's here. Welcome, Jim. We got Rail Artists here. How you doing, Mike? Glad to see you in here. Bernard C is here. Hey, Bernard, welcome. Dwight Curley's here. Hey, Dwight, welcome. John from Schuylkill River Valley's here. J2, welcome. Randall Ellison's here, only for a short while, but thanks for stopping in, Randall. We go down the line here, and then I saw somebody else come in that I've never seen before. Rick Trains is here. Hey, Rick, how you doing? Welcome. And then Hadaway Layout. How you doing? Welcome. This is the first time I've seen you in here. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. And Dave from DB Tech is here. How you doing, Dave? Welcome. Good to see everybody saying hello to everybody. That's great. So I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, just give me a little nudge. And thanks for the birthday wishes, everybody. Appreciate it. Yeah, that was yesterday, the big 7-0. So it was a good day. Oh, he's Pedro. Oh, okay, Pedro. You changed your channel name. Okay, I got you. All right. Good to see you here, Pedro. So, yeah, yesterday was a big 7-0, 1955. That's the year I was born, December 2nd. Thanks, Randall. So, got a lot of birthday wishes from around the world and from everybody. That was nice. And so that was yesterday's day. Think I'm going to have a birthday cake later on this week. I don't know for sure yet. Yeah, thanks a lot, Bernard. Haven't had one of them in, I want to say 65 years, a spanking. When I was a kid, I used to get them. Mom and Dad had a leather strap. It was maybe 3 feet long and it was frayed. And when that thing hit you, you knew it. So it kept us in line, that's for sure. So yeah, the weather here has been pretty cold. I don't know how it is out where you guys, but it's been in the low 30s. And it's supposed to stay like this the whole week. I had a little snow here. They were saying 4 inches, and I only got a little dust in. But then it changed to rain, and then everything froze up. And stupid me, well, it wasn't really stupid me. I had taken my dog out for a ride the other day, went somewhere, and then I came back. And I like to roll down the window when I'm driving. He sits in the back. He has a nice little padded thing back there. He sits back there. Low 20s in Indianapolis. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's cold. So I left the back window open on the passenger side, maybe about that much, you know. And when it snowed, it came into the back seat. You know, I had white stuff on my black upholstery, seats, and it didn't do no damage or anything. But then I went to open up to close the window. They're electric windows, of course, and I went to close it, and it wouldn't move. So it was frozen in that position. So I had to get the scraper and scrape off the ice around the edge and tap down on the rubber thing there, and it finally broke loose. And then I was finally to close it. Then I got all the snow off the car. It took me like 10, 15 minutes to get the car ready to go because I had to take Barbara to the dentist today because she still isn't able to drive very good with her eyes still recovering from her eye surgery. So went to the dentist. Then she came over here for a little while and I did some. She helped me out with testing some turnouts. I went to the layout and she would push the buttons, stuff that she can do, not without straining her eye. So it was good. So we got that all done. Thanks a lot, Ray. Yeah, I got your wish on Facebook too. Yeah, 15 below tonight. Below zero, Dwight, you're saying? 15 below zero? I don't know. That's pretty cold. You have any wind out there? The wind chill factor will make it like 30 below. Well, I've been as cold as 65 below when I was up in Minnesota. I was doing some ice fishing, and it was 65 below that day up there on that ice. It was really cold. I caught 2 fish. Lucky. I guess they were hungry, being stuck under the ice. I don't know. So that was the weather thing here in New Jersey. And I used that new video to be the intro video. Once I get all the trains running, I'll do videos of them and then I'll flip them out, switch them between. So it's not the same one every week. So I'm working on that. Been so busy with getting things 3D printed and everything. I'm not spending much time on the layout as much as I am on the 3D printing stuff. And I've been printing mini me's for Ray, from Rick Trains. Yeah. And it was I'm printing for him and another guy, Dave Knight. He's the other guy I'm printing mini me's for, but I got to do one at a time because I got to know who they are. It's hard to tell sometimes who they are, and it's so what I'm doing is I'm printing them. I have the name of the person I'm printing, and then I have a little plastic bag. I write the name on the bag, and I stick the person in the bag after I cure it, and then it'll get shipped out in a little plastic bag. So that way, the person who gets them will know who they are too. So that's one of the things I've been working on. The only 2 that I haven't been able to get. I was able to extract a lot of the people. Hey, Ronald, welcome. How you doing? Was able to extract most of the people out of the group photos, but unfortunately, 2 people I wasn't able to get extracted out, and that was Almar, and Joe Rader. So I sent an email to Joe Rader. He says he's going to try to get me a picture. And then I was trying to get a hold of Almar. Then I found his email address. I emailed him. Then I found out he was a friend of mine on Facebook, which I didn't realize. So I sent him a message in Facebook, and then he sends me a message back. I asked him for a photo of him so I can make a mini me of him, right? And he goes, "Oh, that's a weird request." So then he asked me to get a hold of Heath. I don't know how Heath would have a photo of him. So I messaged Heath and he never did. And then Al started messaging me on Discord. And then I replied back to him. We chatted for a while. And then he said he's going to try and get me a photo. So when I get those two guys, then I'll have my complete, all the individuals I need. So uh, that's what I've been working on. By the time I get done printing all these, hopefully Joe and and Al will send me their photos. So anybody else that wants one, send me a picture. You can see I finally figured out how to put the banner on there, and there's my email address on the bottom of the screen. So you can just email me the photo, and then I'll create a mini me of you, send it out to you. So that's that. So the other day, that train that was running in the beginning there, I wanted to add a couple more cars to it. It's only 9 cars, and that's too short of a train for me for having 2 engines pulling 9 cars. But to get it up that incline, one engine doesn't cut it. And all my cars are weighted down to the NMRA standards for weights for lengths of the cars. So that makes them heavier than normal cars. So, so I said, I'm going to make some more. I want to make some cars to match the cement cars that are already there. So I was looking for a 40-foot covered hopper car that I could 3D print, and I'll make it. So I found one. It looked like it was a 40-footer, and I downloaded it, and then I printed it out right away without even looking at it. And here it was 1/64 scale. So it wasn't 1/87 scale, and that was really big. And I go, oh, I can't use that. So I gave it to Barbara. She can play around with it and make it something for her dioramas that she's playing around with. So wasn't a wasted print, but that wasn't the right one. So then I shrunk it down to by 25. I think I did 25% because 1/64 scale is 25% bigger than 1/87 scale. And then I said, I want to make it a little bit smaller. So I did it like 23% or something like that. And then it printed out the right size. And it was all in one. Everything was together. The roof was a separate file, and everything else was in one piece. And it printed great on the mini or on the A1, no problem. Printed nice and clean. It put supports in the inside, and I was able to take them out easy enough. And then I looked at it, and I looked underneath, and I said, where the hell did the trucks go? He didn't design a place to put the trucks on the model. So I said, I can't use this model. So I abandoned that model, and then I found another model, and it's a 37-footer, which matches the CSX cars, and it's in HO scale. It's not any other scale. So, and it printed out great on the, I printed some parts on the mini and some parts on the uh, A1, and they both printed out great on both. So now I got to put this one together, and this is down on the workbench there, and you can see all the parts. These are the two sides here, this one and this one. Here's the bottom piece. These are the end pieces. This goes inside on the angle going down. Then over here are the pieces that the trucks and the couplers go on. So I'll bring that up on the screen. It's easier to see that. I'll show you what I mean. And then over here is the roof. And then these are these are walkways pieces, two on the end and two on the sides for the roof. So I can add weights inside there before I put the top on, and then I just have to put together. I made two of these because what I did was I started looking around for those same CSX cars that I had on that train. Couldn't find them anywhere. Went on eBay. I found a guy selling two 40-footers for good price. So I said I'll order those two. So they're on the way. I'll explain that in a second. So this here can you use Testors paint for painting the 3D prints? I never use Testors paint. I have all acrylic paints here. If Testors is acrylic, then you can paint it on 3D prints. I'm going to leave these all gray. This is a gray filament that I use. I'm going to put yellow CSX decals on this if this works out that way, Rick. I never used Testors paint. I used Testors glue before, but never Testors paint. So I'm going to make myself bigger here. This is the part here. So this here part, there's on the bottom part here, there's a couple of slots here. And then this slips onto that, just like that. Now you can see the coupling box out here. And then if you turn it upside down, I don't want it to fall off because it's not glued in place. Now you see the little hole there in the center. And this is where the truck goes. Then you just put a screw in there and you hold it. So it worked out really good. Good. Okay. Thanks. New adventure in painting them. Get some acrylic paints then. Yep, that's right. And then I just had to put a couple Katie couplers on here. So I got to glue this all together. That's another day's project. But they all printed out smooth, perfect. There's lines on the side here, that go into the side. There's a line there on the side here, so that goes into there. So it makes it easy to put it together. Just wish there was some instructions on what part you put together first, So I got to look at it and see the best way to do it. I'm thinking of putting the bottom in and then putting the sides on. Then or putting this one side on. Then I can put these two side pieces on, or end pieces. These two end pieces can go on at the end, of course, and then the roof can go on later. That's not a big deal. But you don't want to put it together and think, oh crap, I got to put something else in there. It won't fit or something, And then to get it all squared off and everything, that's going to be a trick too. But I got two of them put together. I wanted to get 4 more cars for that train. So I can't make the train really, really long because that one loop that goes around there, it intersects and it could hit the end of the train. So I have to 4 more of those 40 footers will be good enough for that train. That'll give it enough cars. And then those cars get dropped off on the siding there when the train was running by. Comes out of the three-way switch, and the siding there, put a couple of cement cars, and then a engine can come down and bring it up to the second level where the cement factory is, and unload and load it or whatever has to do. So that's what the plan is. So, but that's what I've been doing, and that other model looked great too when it printed out. But then I turned it over and I go, where the heck do I put the wheels? Now I could have body mounted the couplers, but I would have had to have to print a coupler box and put them in there and all that kind of stuff. And I says, nah, I didn't like it too much, so I'd rather have the parts that I need. So this one came all the parts separate that you see there. Even has the coupler box lid. That's a little small, and it has a screw hole, so you can screw that tight. You don't have to glue it, so you can screw it in with a little screw. And the guy in his this was on Colts, the 3D site Colts, and he had a thing there telling you what size screws you need and all that, which I have most of them screws anyway, M3s and M2s, stuff like that. So I'll have these together in the next couple of days, and then I'll add them to the train, see how they run around. They don't give me any problems, then I'll put the decals on afterwards, and then enter them into my car's table on JMRI. So, so that's what I've been 3D printing. Besides, on the back two, over my right shoulder, you see the 2 resin printers back there. The small one on the far right, that one right there, that one there, he just finished before the show started, and the big one is still printing. So I got the little one printing the HO scale guys, and the big printer printing the O scale guys. The O scale guys take about 3 hours, 3.5 hours to print, and the HO scale guys take about an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes type to print. Yeah. Yeah, Rick, once I get all the people done, then I'll ship out that with the dwarf signals in the same box. That way you get them all. No, I don't. I don't use an airbrush to paint the people or anything like that. Barbara does all my painting. She's the artist in this relationship here. She loves to paint, and one day when we were first dating, I was showing her the trains and everything. She really liked it and everything, and then I said, and she says, "Oh, I'll paint them for you." And I said, "Oh, okay." And then so she paints all the characters, for me, stuff like that. I used to paint them. I can paint them, but the characters are all done by hand because if you airbrush them, the pants are a different color than the shirt. Then I paint the hands and the face a flesh color. And if the person has hair, we paint the hair color on them. Glasses, we paint the glasses on them, stuff like that. So, so that's what I'm planning. That's what we do. So with her eye surgery, I haven't been able to get anything painted. She came over the other day and she painted those backdrop buildings because they were bigger, and I only needed a couple of things painted on them. I printed them uh, in all in gray filament, but like one of the buildings we painted red, so that was a big building. So uh, when she paints the people, the HO scale people, she wears those special glasses, and she can't wear them yet because of her eye. So she has to wait until it heals before she can put them on so she can see. Now, the bigger things she can paint. So, because you don't need to wear the glasses for that. So, and I'm not in no hurry to get the people painted. I can always add them on the layout anytime. So, I've been working on getting the trains running and trying to get that, but then I come up with this side project here, and boom, it's you know I want to get these done. Thanks a lot. Oh, hey JD, welcome. I didn't even see you pop in. How you doing? Hit that like button, people. Thank you. So, okay, it's time for my U.S. Postal rant. I have 3 packages coming. 3. One is from Scale Systems, Scale Sound System speakers. He shipped them out to me. The speakers I need for this engine that's sitting here. Okay. And one package is from Walters. They shipped out my replacement motor for my turntable. Hey, JD, welcome again. And the other package is the eBay order. I ordered those 2 40-foot closed hopper cars from. Now, the Scale Sound Systems comes out of Ohio. Walters comes out of Wisconsin. No activity on any of them 3 packages for many days. And so I called Walters on Monday and said, "Hey Keith, how you doing?" And the package, I got the tracking number, but I don't see no activity. So he said he was going to call this his shipping guy and then find out. And then I went in on the app after about an hour after I talked to him. He must have called and they must have said something. And I saw it ended up in Chicago. So it went from I think it's Madison, Wisconsin. Wisconsin they come from. That's where Walters is. Shipped it down, and it goes to Chicago. Okay, so it's sitting in Chicago for 2 days, but no activity. Now the package from Scale Trains that also has come from Ohio, and that's a town called Medallion, Ohio, and from there it goes to Columbus, Ohio. And that package said it was going to be estimated delivery on my birthday yesterday, December 2nd. So December 2nd came, no package. It hadn't even moved. So all I see is it arrived on the 27th in Columbus, Ohio at 4:17 in the morning. And that's the last thing I've seen. And all you see is in transit to next location. Well, where the heck is that? Now that's 7 days ago. Tomorrow will be 7 days. Today was the 6th day. And I called the post office today, gave them all 3 of the tracking numbers. And the third one is the eBay order. And that's a small town outside of Philadelphia. So that should be here in a day. You know, Philadelphia is only 2 hours from me. And that hasn't moved. The post office has it. It's had it for 2 days now, and they haven't done anything with it. Now, Hey, Bob, welcome. Enjoy your trip tomorrow. That's okay. Glad you just stopped in to say hello. I appreciate that. So, um, I don't know why they're not moving it, but that has an expected date of Saturday delivery. Why it's 5 days, I don't understand it. It's not going across the country, so it's not hasn't moved. So I called the post office today, spoke to the rep, explained to her what was going on. While I'm on the phone with her, I go on my app and I go, look at that. See, I'm talking to you now. And now the package that's in Chicago says it was departed from Chicago. So somebody scanned it as being departed and now says in transit to next destination. They don't tell you what the next destination is. You have to guess. So now I won't see anything for that for how long it takes to get from Chicago to New Jersey because they won't post anything if it stops in Ohio or Pennsylvania somewhere. God only knows where the heck it's going to be. So um, they don't. I always do, Jim. Um, I always give them hell. And I was telling her about the story that we have a local post office here in my town, and then they built a new distribution center postal building in my town. I can walk to both places from my house. Hey, Wigwag, welcome. How you doing, Steve? So um, I was telling her about that. This guy, these guys here in the post office don't know what they're doing because the mail gets delivered to the distribution center in my town. Anything from the west goes into that distribution center. Now, that's the same zip code as where I live and the other post offices. There's only one zip code in this whole area, and it covers a couple, my town and the surrounding townships, which are pretty good sized areas of it. And they cover, they surround the town, including a small town that's within one of the townships. So, and that has its own post office there. And so they take the packages that come into that distribution center, which is only less than a mile away from the other post office. And it has the zip code of the town here on the package. They take all the packages and send them all the way across the state to Kearney, New Jersey, which is a town that's on the border near the river between New Jersey and New York State. So it's all the way across the other side of the state. Now that's 60 miles from my town to New York City, 60 miles. Philadelphia is 60 miles to the south of me. So I'm in a great location. I can go either place in a short period of time. But why? And then the next day, they put it on a truck and bring it back to the local post office. Now, how foolish is that? Why not just put it on a truck in the distribution center and drive it over to the local post office? So I called up and spoke with the U.S. Postmaster in Washington, D.C. And I explained this to him. And he was surprised to hear that that was going on. And I said, well, it is. I said, I can show you tracking information that this happens all the time. Why are you being so wasteful? So he said he would get back to me and let me know. So I'm not holding my breath. from a Washington D.C. bureaucrat, but we'll see. So, um, so the lady on the phone said, check it later on tonight. I looked at it before the show and nothing's changed. Um, I'll look at it again before I go to bed just to see. Usually it updates in the next day because it arrives somewhere. I mean, I've driven from my house to Chicago, and I believe it took me 13, maybe 14 hours to go from here to Chicago. And that's one day in a truck. That shouldn't take them 4 days to get from there to there. Now, I don't know how much snow they had out in the Midwest. We only had a little bit here in New Jersey. And, I can only go by what I see here. I can't see what's out there. But they were saying, oh, go to our alerts page on the post office website. And yeah, yeah, my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law, he's passed away now, but he worked at the post office for all his life. And he retired, and then, we're up to 12 now. Very good. Somebody isn't hitting the like button. And so when back then they had a little more integrity and they valued their work ethic and stuff like that. Today's crowd doesn't know what work ethic is. So what can you do? So that's the end of the postal thing. Sometime it'll come sometime, but I saw over the weekend Chicago was getting 10 inches. Well, 10 inches is nothing, especially for that area. In the Midwest, you guys get a lot of snow out there. You should be used to 10 inches of snow. And isn't the saying, let's see, if I remember correctly, the postman saying, through rain, snow, hail, and sleet, the mail will never be defeat. So I guess they don't follow those rules anymore. They get an inch of snow on the ground and they don't go to work. A package came 5:30. My mail came 5:30 in the afternoon the other day, and so I went out and met the mailman. It was dark, and I said I wanted to get the package from him, and I said, "What's going on?" I says, "You're awful late today." And it wasn't the same driver. And he said, the guy called in sick. I had to finish my route and then go out and do this route. So I said, okay, undermanned. No, not enough people to work there. So there's plenty of jobs out there. People need to get out and get to work instead of collecting our tax dollars. So, but that's that. So anyway, so tomorrow, I'm going to start running the trains on the lower level again, make sure they all work because we tested out the turnouts and all the turnouts are working now. I only have 3 more to test, and that's on the subway system, but I don't use them that often, so I'm going to just test them. And it's hard to see them up there because they're in a spot where it's not easily seen, but I'll watch when she pushes the button. I'll watch the motor move back and forth. As long as it's moving back and forth, then I know it's okay. So maybe I'll put a train up there and run it and see if it goes through or something. I don't know. We'll see. But trains run around. I'm going to keep it that way. So that's what I'm planning to do tomorrow. Then I'll make more videos of those trains running. See how it is. 12 inches is not a blizzard. 4 inches plus is. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I've been in blizzards. I drove up to Buffalo in December for a wedding, and there was 2 to 3 feet of snow on the highway. So a lot more. I have a Trump sticker on my mailbox, and the new gal wouldn't deliver my mail. She sent it back, got her ass fired. Good. That's what should happen. Yeah, that's what should happen, Bernard. There's a few Trump signs around in the neighborhood. I see them flying there, and I see a few of the goofball woman that ran against him signs up too. But yeah. Well, the only blizzard I like is the one from Dairy Queen. Now, when I was a kid, we had one Easter Sunday. That was the early April. We had 5 feet of snow on the ground, and we still went to church. Sunday morning, got out. Me and my brother and my father shoveled the driveway out so you could get the car out. The roads were plowed. That made the corners over 8 feet tall with all the snow piling up on the banks. And it wasn't much traffic back then, so then we got to church. Had to get to church though. Yeah, that's right, Jim. They sure are. I got different words for them, Jim, but I can't say it on here. So that's what I'm planning to do the rest of the week. Now, the three things I got coming through the mail is the speakers for this engine, and this is just going to be in the yard, and it's going to go and get cars and move around and stuff like that. So I like the sounds. Yes, Rick, the Blizzard of '78 was great. That year is the first year I bought two brand new ski-doos, and we were out on our ski-doos every day from December. I think that started in December. I don't know, January or something like that. But there was snow in December that year too, and then '78 came the big snowstorm, and there was snow on the ground, and we were out until end of March every day on the snowmobiles. So my uncle had a big property up there. We parked our ski-doos up there. I had a pickup truck, and had a trailer, and I put them on the pickup truck and took him up to my uncle's house, and we drove around. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, I remember that one. It was a good times though. So talked about the mini me's. I got a nice NRMA 2026 calendar in the mail today. And it has, you won't be able to see this, it's going to be hard, but it has all different types of engines and different scenes for each month. So that was a nice thing I got in the mail. And I just got a notification from YouTube that I hit 5,000 watch hours for my total history. I got excited. I said, "Ooh, I got up to 5,000 watch hours." Yeah, that's for a lifetime. So 4 years, 5,000 watch hours. That's a long time to get that many. So right now I'm sitting at 1,800. So I'm 1,200 short of watch hours for the 500 thing. So, oh, let me bring back up the thing here. Okay. Can you see my mouse? Can you see my mouse here? Just give me a thumbs up. Because what I did was I got tired of looking at the, oh, good. I got tired of looking at the real little white mouse. You know, by default on a Windows platform, the mouse is real small and it's white. Well, a lot of the background screens, like on StreamYard, for example, everything around the view is white. So you don't know where the mouse disappears to. So I said, even in the train room, I have two computers in there. One's the mini, which has all my JMRI panels. And that one was driving me crazy because when I moved to the other screen, I couldn't see where the mouse went because the backgrounds are light and everything. So I made them all big. I changed the size of the mouse and made them different colors so that I can see them a lot better. So I did that. And now when you're showing it on here, you guys can see it. So on this here view, you can see over there, those are those 3D buildings, backdrop buildings I did in a short video. Most of you saw already. And they're lighted up there. I got one up on this level here. You can't see it from here, but over in the back corner, there's another one that I did. And then that was what I was working on. Barbara painted the different colors on the buildings for me and stuff like that. So that's that. And then on this here screen, over here, I added lights to these two silos and stuff. So up in the top, there's a little building up there. And then up in the top of this, there's an office up there, you know, like it's an office part or whatever it is of that whole silo system there. And I got two more Woodland Scenics floodlights. And I drilled the holes and I put them in. The light shines straight up. So I bent them a little bit. And now it shines right on the silo. So it looks nice. And when I turn the lights out in there and it's dark, you can really see them and it comes out really nice. Can't see them on camera right now. So if I turn the overhead lights off, then you might be able to see it, but it'd be dark in the room. So the camera can't adjust correctly to show the light. And then I put some lights up here. I put a light up in here. I put a light up in here. And then I put a light up in here. And then I ran the wires down to the bottom there. And I got a 12-volt power supply and an extension cord coming from Amazon tomorrow. And some a 3-prong device wire you plug into an outlet, and then you have 3 connectors on it. So that's coming from Amazon. So that they'll be here tomorrow. And it's then once I get them on, then we'll see how well they light up there. I put blue lights up in there. I wanted to have something other than white lights all over the place. So yeah, that's 14 levels, Ray. From the first level to the top is 14. It's all cleaned. and I can run a train up. Well, actually, it's 14, but the camera can't get all 14 in because it's too close to the helix. If I zoom in or out, maybe if I zoom out, let's see. Now that's in. Now I can't zoom in anymore to get it, to get all 12. If I go up, there you see the top. Now you see the top. There's, you saw 12, there's 13 and 14 right there. So yeah, I got labels on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then I put labels on this here on the backside. So when I'm over there, I know what level I'm on. So yeah. And that thing there, I could pick up and carry it with my hand. Okay. Well, I got at, this is my second level here, where the silos are, and there's a turnout that that was the first level I had going to that level. Then I added more on and on and on. That it comes up and goes directly into there. There's a turnout that will allow the inside track on the helix, in the inside track on the helix, to go up the helix. And then there's another Y just past that turnout, a Y, and then it splits to get me back on two tracks going up and up. Then I got an exit point for the yard. That's this level here. That's level 3. And then there's also another one in the backside. You can't see it from the camera view, but there's another turnout back in here that takes you into the yard from the backside. And then it comes in, that comes around here, and there's a Y turnout right here. And then those two, this bridge here, and then the bridge back there comes into here. That's that how to get to the yard. Then the long bridge here, that takes you into the subway system. Yeah, the red boxes are all turnout machines. They're Cobalt IPs and some tortoise machines. Most of them on the Helix are Cobalt IPs. I have some tortoises around. I use 3 different brands of machines. I have Tortoise, I have Cobalt IPs, and I got DPHs, and they're really flat, which really worked out well for me underneath the subway system. I didn't want to have a big tortoise machine. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then after the subway system, there's this bridge here, and then there's one on the backside, and that there's a turnout over there too to get you into the subway system. 2 ways in for the yard and the subway system. Then it continues to go up to the top, and then this turnout up here is another Y. The 2 tracks go down to 1 to go through the tunnel and get to the other side of the the 5th level up there. So a few reverse loops. Hey, we're 14 for 14. Can't ask anything for better than that, JD. Thank you. Okay, Pedro. Thank you very much for stopping in. Have a good night, and we'll catch you later. Thanks a lot. So um, that's the story of the Helix, guys. So let's just get out of there. And so, yeah, so I'm just working on lights for this guy's here. Um, the parts will be here tomorrow. I can finish up those lights, and then I can get to back to working on the trains. So that's all. And then, yeah, nothing. I got a few other light situations to do that I haven't gotten to. And while I'm waiting for things to come in, maybe I'll work on those projects. But I like to try and work on a project and finish it. And post office, this isn't cooperating very much. So yeah, I do. I have two camera cars, Bernard. I have a small camera which I need for inside the subway system, and that works everywhere. I had one before, but it didn't create MP4 files. Uh, well, Dave, I know, and like these 3D printed projects, those can get finished. I like right now I have a project to print these covered hopper cars. So I didn't want to mess with them today, and I was having a lot of problems with something I 3D printed and trying to super glue it to another part of a 3D printed thing, and it wasn't sticking. Other times you hold it there for a few seconds and it sticks. Other times, when you want it to stick, it doesn't stick. It sticks to your fingers and everything else. So I didn't want to mess with that today. Finally got my fingers all cleaned off with a super glue, and I want to keep them clean for at least one day. So tomorrow I'll work on this and get these cards together because I'm anxious to see how these roll on the layout. Uh, Wouldn't you know what to do without 50 Ti? I don't know what 50 Ti is. So, um, oh, does anybody on here know how to create a poll when you're live streaming on StreamYard? Did anybody ever create a poll? I see these guys, they have polls, and then you have to click on the button, and then you can show the results of the poll. I wanted to set up a poll because I'm thinking about doing something, and I want to hear your guys' opinion on it. But I'm not going to say anything until I get the poll thing working. Maybe next week's stream I'll have the poll thing working. Well, no, they weren't using OBS. I think there's another program because I did a quick um, search for StreamYard, setting up a poll on StreamYard, and they had run this or run that and stuff, and I didn't have time to mess around with it. Uh, I was just getting ready for the stream, and I want to mess around and get things messed up. And then I saw another guy. He was playing around with different sounds on StreamYard. And I don't know how he got them. He said it was free, and I didn't see anything from StreamYard free. Every time it says click on this, and then you have to pay for going to a certain level or something. Then I don't want to pay for anything. Yeah, that's funny, Bernard. Yeah. Um, yeah, I know. I think they have a third party app for StreamYard too. So that's what I'll see about uh, going with. Hey, Mike, welcome. I was just about ready to go. How you doing, Mike? So yeah, so that's what I wanted to try, and see how that works out. So I'm going to play around with that. Maybe next week I'll have the poll up and we'll see how it works. So just got home from the gym. Well, Jim's here. How'd you get home from Jim's house so fast? You were all the way down to Florida and you just got home now? Yeah, I know. Just trying to be funny. So, all right, people. Well, I want to thank everybody for stopping in and spending an hour with me here. I appreciate everyone again, thank you for all the birthday wishes yesterday and today. Appreciate it. Yeah, last time I saw someone post a poll video, it was for OnlyFans After Dark. Oh, I have no clue to post a poll though. Yeah, flux capacitors. Yeah, yeah, you can watch the replay. No big deal. So everybody have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of the week. Thanks a lot, John. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the week. Don't forget to watch Jim Tedesco tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Always a good show to watch. And we'll catch you all later. I'm going to play the outro, so I'll be still here if anybody got any questions or anything. And we will see that in a few seconds. Okay, Ray, take care. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah. Tomorrow, I hope to have a good another subway. Hopefully, it's better with the new lighting system up there. So we'll see. That's what the plan is. There goes the train. All with done by Barbara. She did all the painting. Graphic arts. Total deconfliction. I used to have a coal burning stove in my house. Get coal for the out of the bin. Coal is very dirty, but it heats up the place. It sure does. Thanks for that, Ray. You know, all that noise you hear and stuff is the clickety clack of the train run. Then also sometimes I have cab chatter, and next time I do a video, I'll turn off. Okay, people, good night. We'll catch y'all later.